Welcome to B2B with Randy and Craig, where we speak to local entrepreneurs and learn about their journey. Welcome to B2B, where we discuss the rise, the falls,
and the kick in
no,
that.
we're not doing it. We're not doing that family show.
One of these times.
I'm Randy. I'm here with my sidekick,
Craig from That's a Wrap Productions.
And today we have special guests, Daisy and Jeff Alvarado from Crossroads Auto Leasing.
Welcome.
Thank
Quick
you, guys.
question for you guys. Why auto leasing?
So it's funny because when I got into this industry, I actually was speaking to a friend of mine to get into a car. I needed a vehicle.
So you were going to buy a car.
I was going to buy a car. She wanted a third row, and we didn't know where to get a car. So we had a friend that actually buys cars and it gets delivered to his house. And we were like, this is amazing. I just want to get it done. So we called the guy. We called the kid. It was a young guy from Brooklyn. And he says to me, he's like, yeah, fill this out. Fill this out, and I'll get the car to you. And,
so you knew what kind of car. You already knew what kind of car you wanted.
I already knew what kind of car. I knew exactly what we wanted. We wanted a third row, Toyota Highland. I think it was what we got the first time. And the guy was like, fill this out. And when I saw it, he's like, give me my information, my social security. And I'm like, I'm not giving this guy my information. I haven't seen this car. I haven't seen it. I haven't touched it. I haven't felt it. I need to drive a car first.
Right.
But no, it was actually pretty cool because, I mean, the guy, I called my friend again. I'm like, listen, this guy's asking for my personal information.
This
I
is
don't
weird.
get it. This is weird.
Right.
And he says to me, he's like, no, dude, just follow. Just trust me. Just do what he tells you. I'm like, okay. So I went with the flow. 2 days later, I get a car delivered right to my doorstep. And I was like, this is the most amazing thing in the world.
Curbside delivery.
I loved it. Exactly. And I loved it. And I fell in love with the industry. I thought this was amazing. I could do it so much better. And I could just switch it to something completely different.
How many years ago was that?
This is about 7.5 years ago. Almost 8 years ago. 8 years ago.
And how long did the process take you from start to finish?
What do you mean? With him?
Yeah.
It was about, I'm going to say 5 days, approximately.
Okay.
5 days to get the whole process
So
going.
I got to ask you.
But I also was very hesitant with the whole situation.
A couple of those days where you check and make sure this guy's legit. But let's go backwards for a second. So you were working at the time.
Correct.
Tell me what you had? You were working for somebody?
In the mortgage industry.
In the mortgage industry.
Mortgage, yeah.
So you were working for somebody.
I was doing mortgages, and I was working for...
No, you were working at, you were a manager at
Optimum. Oh, that's right. I
You
was
weren't
at
in
Optimum.
You
No, I
weren't
wasn't in the
in-
mortgage
you-
industry.
He wasn't
Daisy,
even.
thank God you're here. Thank God you're here.
Thank God Daisy's here.
I'm glad my wife's not here. You better watch yourself. We got you watch. You're a liar. That's what we know. That's what we found out.
Sorry, Mike.
So you're working for somebody. This opportunity comes in front of you. You had a great experience as a consumer.
Right.
Easy. They delivered what we want. Did you guys have kids at that point? For convenience wise, you didn't want to go to the dealership, pain in the neck.
What were you doing
both.
at the time, Daisy?
I was working for the mortgage industry.
Was she, Jeff?
Yes.
I
Just make
was working for the, and it became a side. Well, we didn't really get into it until I think maybe a year or 2 years after. But what happened is that we liked the process and so forth, and then it was brought upon us a kind of an opportunity to partner up with somebody to do exactly that. And so we were like, we kind of want to learn it. So it became kind of like a side hustle. After the side hustle, I have to admit, during COVID, it was really dark times for a lot of people.
Sure.
And it was really, we got laid off. I was working in the city, so now I wasn't even in the mortgage.
Now no income, no.
So now I was working in the city. Now I got laid off. He was working for a solar company. He got laid off. And again, this was still a side hustle, but the partnership that he had before didn't work out. It was just not a good mix.
Right.
So he was like, let's start our own business. And so then...
So this started during COVID.
Started right before COVID.
December 2019.
Wow.
Our company.
Right before.
Our company.
We were
I was doing it prior to
I got
that.
it, but Crossroads Auto Leasing was born.
In December 2019.
At that point, this was a full-time gig for
Correct.
both of you because
Not
of
yet.
circumstances.
No, not yet, because we got laid off in April in 2020.
Got it.
Oh,
So
she
this is
did.
a side hustle going on.
It was full time for me.
And she's working. Daisy's working.
I was still in the city.
So you have your journey. You're an entrepreneur. You love this concept. Daisy loves it. Both of you like, I like to get involved in this. An opportunity falls on your lap. You're a partner in this business. Things don't work out.
Yep.
You're
And then
rocking and rolling on your own.
Yep.
COVID happens. You get laid off. Instead of licking your wounds, you said, I'm
Let's
going to
go.
take the bull
Yes.
by the horns and we're going to rock and roll with this.
Yeah,
Wow.
because they were kind of like just touching the surface in the sense that they weren't really. If you think about it, the back end is a lot more complicated than being the front person
When you
and like
say
selling.
you're talking about on a car,
And no, I'm talking about a business.
a business.
I'm talking about a business
Oh,
that
yeah.
went in the back end, and I have to admit, some of the stuff that I got exposed when I was working in the city was very beneficial for us to start this company and systems and softwares and things of how to do operations, marketing, and just start getting leads. And
Love it.
so it just started kind of evolving from there, where I was starting to do special accounting courses and stuff like that, just to get like the company going.
And that's
like,
so important. You know, here's somebody who took the experience they had in the real world, we'll call it, right? And
Right.
utilized it to
Yeah.
maximize their entrepreneurial journey. So working for somebody is not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
No, because I took
Definitely
a
not.
lot of
You
experiences
learn a
from
lot
that.
from it, too.
Yeah,
Correct.
Right.
Like I learned from some companies what not to do.
Bingo. Bingo.
You learn how not to run a company, and then you kind of learn how to run you also learn how to be a boss, in the sense that you learn how to manage certain people and handle situations
Right.
It's a
differently.
lot of responsibility.
Yeah, so like, and I mean, like, I didn't know about branding. I didn't know about logos. I didn't know. And here I'm teaching myself graphics, and I'm teaching myself how to do logos.
And you guys have a great logo.
Yeah. So this was like, we're finding like interns from college, trying to get into the nick of things, and we're trying to like find all kinds of resources in any way to help us and
That's so
stuff like
creative
that.
on your
Yeah.
behalf. Again,
Yeah.
that's fighting for your life.
Right, but I feel
Definitely at
like
that
there's
point.
a lot of, I want to say, synergy or connection between, the relationships in your life that you go through and the jobs that you get. So, like even, I used to do kind of in-person sales, and you could see you learn people's body language and what to do and how to react that way.
Right.
So you've been in the business for how long?
So it's been 4.5 years now?
Well, the company
Crossroads Auto
obviously, but we've been at it for like 8 years.
Do you
Yeah,
remember
yes.
your very first car you got leased?
At Crossroads?
Yes.
Okay.
That you delivered.
I do not.
I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah,
It doesn't sound like Jeff does either.
No, but
It was a beautiful Honda Accord.
It was a previous customer. Definitely was a previous customer, because I already had somewhat of a book from the previous
We had
company.
relationships
from the
from the
previous
previous
company that
company.
I
Well, it's all
I was
relationships,
partnered to.
right?
Yeah, exactly. So it was somebody already used. Somebody already used us before. Somebody used me before.
I used Crossroads twice, and my last two leases, a purchase and a lease and a purchase, because it's
so people
Crossroad.
could-
It's Crossroad Auto Leasing,
Correct.
but I can purchase
I had
through
no
you
idea.
as well.
So you could do everything a dealership does with us, including leasing, financing, cash deals. We do everything, including getting all the rebates, discounts, incentives.
Can you get them to
special
come to-
APRs?
Can you get
everything.
them to come to my house and clean the car afterwards too? Because
Yes.
my
Actually,
kids,
yes, we
Yes,
can.
now
Yes,
we
we
can.
can. Yes, we can.
Now
Don't be
we
a
got a
Weisenheimer.
connection.
Don't be a Weisenheimer.
don't
Listen,
don't get me excited over here. You know I got two kids at home, right?
listen.
Exactly.
You got to
My
think about
car's
this.
never clean.
Of course, why would it be? But you got to think about this. You got to think about what they've created.
Right.
Okay. Post 9/11, prior to 9/11,
COVID.
prior to COVID, you would never think about stopping at a grocery store and having people bring things to your curb.
No,
You
never.
would never think about them bringing food out to your car.
Right.
These were things that we never did. Everything you did,
Exactly.
let's put the internet was there. You went out and got.
Yeah.
And there was some people who were doing Amazon and those things.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, you want a Honda Accord. You know what you want. You call Jeff. You tell him what you want. It's like you Uber
Any
Eats.
car.
It's
Any
like
car.
Uber Eats.
Right.
It comes to your
the
house.
car,
He
yeah.
drops off clean.
So I can get a DeLorean.
You
Now,
can
if
do whatever
you
you want.
credit wise, we can't speak for your credit. But
So
This is
it's
true.
kind of like what he's saying. So there's customers that come to us and tell us, this is exactly what I want. I want a BMW X5 M-Class.
What's the
black
craciest thing that
and-
anyone's ever asked
wait,
for?
let's hear. I want to hear the process.
That's a numerous of cars I'm still in process actually. But then in the double-edged sword, we actually have the other side is where I have a customer that tells me I want to pay $300 a month, and I could do
Back into the number.
$2,500. Then become like an advisor. We kind of like we have to like do the research for them. We have to go see what car is going to be more beneficial for this customer. Does he want overdrive? Does he want front-wheel drive? Does he want the sedan? Does he need an SUV? So then we have to do a little more legwork. Then there's scenarios like Randy. Randy told me, like, this is what I want. This is exactly what I want. The color, this colors, give me the options, and this is it.
How
And it
often
was easy.
do you guys have to be like, well, this kind of car is just not feasible for you?
Yeah, we
or
become
what?
consultants. We have to kind of bring them back down to reality
Right,
because we've
exactly.
gotten that customer that comes in and is like, I want all the bells and whistles, and I want top of the line, the highest trim, and I only want to pay $400.
Okay, well, that's not happening.
Right.
No.
In reality, it's
So,
never gonna happen.
like, we're like sitting here, okay, and it was like, and have you thought of what kind of brand you're looking for? Oh yeah, I want Lexus, BMW. And okay, now we got to bring you down.
Yeah.
So now we have to. It's like you want bells and whistles in a car that's fully loaded. Fine, maybe you should look at a Mazda.
Right. I can hit that number, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But I think what people may not realize, the experience is pretty much the same, but I'm home. Meaning that I can be
get your time-
online
you
with
get
you,
your time back.
but I'm in my house relaxing.
You get your time back.
We
You get
give
your
it
time back.
back,
It's
yeah.
simplified. You don't have to take your kids to the dealership.
And as a mom,
Having
you don't
kids-
wanna do that.
Yeah, having the kids running around the
Right.
dealership, going through that headache, going through the process of actually trying to negotiate a deal, and then you get the closure coming in, trying
That's
to
8 hours
trying
later.
to give you something.
That
else.
negotiation.
Then you're
Yeah.
going into what they call the pocket.
So then you're 8 hours exhausted, and now they put you in front, and you just want to sign it, whatever they put in front of you, so you
They
can
break
get the
you.
hell out
Right.
of there.
They
Yeah,
break you.
yeah,
They
yeah.
break you. So
Not intentionally, which is
here's-
funny, but they do.
If you're just tuning into WBAB, we are sitting here with Daisy and Jeff Alvarado of Crossroads Auto Leasing. And if you're listening to us on podcast, Apple Radio, iHeartRadio, everything. So, yeah.
Well done. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Well done.
Thank you.
So let's talk about service. Now, I know the answer to this, but
Right.
I get the car from you.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for the oil change. I get a Lexus. Where do I get it serviced?
So it's a good question. So there's two ways you could get it done. So you could services, you could get it serviced any way you want. First of all, it's your choice. It's always been the customer's choice. It's never a dealership's choice. When it comes to free oil changes and maintenances,
Right.
it actually comes from the manufacturer. It does not come from a dealership. It comes from the manufacturer. If you actually read a window sticker, in the part where it gives you all the warranties and everything in there, it gives you the section where it says free maintenance for 3 years or 36 months. Gives you the option. So it really comes down to
So
actually,
that's not the
it's not the
dealership.
dealership. It's not the they do have a certain thing that they do charge you, and it is cheaper to get a maintenance through the dealership. Some dealerships do, like Alfa Romeo does that.
Right.
Other like BMW sometimes does it, but BMW 90% of the time it's actually included into the service, so it's actually free.
So there are some special things that certain dealerships do, but overall the
It's the same thing.
experience is exactly
It's
the
the
same.
same
They'll
thing.
take your money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
100%.
Right.
100%.
And so financing, you have all the banks available.
Yep.
So now you come to my house.
And sometimes I actually advise customers. A good question about the financing. Sometimes I have customers. Let's say, for example, if I have there's no special APR, right? And the APRs right now are 6.9 right now. The rates are still high. And I tell the customer, why don't you go to a credit union instead of actually going through us? Get the loan through the credit union. You might get a better interest rate. Then come with us and just give us a certified check.
Because
for
he's
the
not
amount.
double dipping.
Because it doesn't matter.
He's
to
not
us.
double
It
dipping.
really doesn't make a difference. We don't care.
We're working for the consumer. We're working for
Exactly.
the client. We're not working for a
Exactly.
dealership. We have a
Right.
very small overhead. We're not sitting here and trying to make $10,000 over MSRP or anything like that. We're like a mom and pop shop that we're looking to cater to our client. We're not looking to take advantage of them either.
Right,
And,
right.
and the same thing, we do take care of the dealerships because the
have
dealership
to.
is a part of ours.
Of course, you're a
dealership
customer to them. They're
They
important
take
to you.
care of us. We take care of them. We actually
Yes.
give them a better reputation. We try to do the right thing for the dealership and
Sure.
actually try to give them the service that they want and need.
Now you're a husband and wife team that own a business.
Well, are you asking? Or
Well,
sometimes.
Are you
Sometimes,
asking?
depending.
Depending on the day.
This morning, not so much.
Depending on how I feel.
during the day, not husband and wife. At night.
depending on what time it is.
This morning, I almost.
Good question.
Good questions, right?
And I noticed Jeff didn't answer. He just sat there.
he just sat and smiled.
I'm like looking at you like. sense there. Okay.
What's the hardest part about juggling a business and running your family?
Okay, that's definitely for me. So
100%.
unfortunately, it's really hard. It's really hard, and it becomes very overwhelming. As a woman, you're overstimulated. I have to give credit to every business owner, woman out there that is running a household and still doing their business.
I agree.
Because I don't think
hard.
I mean, I went from a stay-at-home mom to going back into the working industry, and that was tough because I was all hands in with my kids.
You are hands in with your kids. I know,
and so
you're
then,
always.
Yeah.
And so next thing you know, now we're trying to run a company and also do the same thing. But now it's tricky because now you have the convenience as your own company. You can leave whenever you want. Yeah, okay, great, it's convenience. But now I'm an Uber and trying to like work on my phone, or he's trying to drop off a kid and he's parked on his laptop. So it's very, very hard because you're not only managing the company, you're also trying to manage whatever is going on with your life,
Socialize,
with your
yeah.
kids,
Part of
the
the
everybody's
sports.
different.
You got sports,
It's
you
everything.
got school,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got
it's
life.
And our
our
kids are
personal stuff. So
and our kids are into sports right now, so I like they
What's their ages?
16, 17, 15, 11.
I'm sorry, say it again.
16, 15,
Jeff,
11.
don't say it. Don't say it.
17.
17, 15, 11.
I'm not asking you any family questions anymore. So one of the great things about being an entrepreneur is the freedom. A lot of people like that freedom. They like that, which is incredible.
Yeah.
It comes at a cost.
It does.
It comes at a cost, and we were talking about this on multiple shows. Look, there's times that yes, you have the freedom, but on Friday you got to worry about payroll. I get all that.
Yeah.
So you're right. You have a crazy role as a mom and a business owner and a wife. And we had the pleasure of meeting Jess from Business Babes That Do Brunch.
Boss babes who brunch.
Boss Babes Who Do Brunch NY.
I kind of saw a little
Ella.
bit about that. What was that?
I'm going to send the information.
you
She's an
definitely-
incredible woman.
definitely.
Who puts incredible women together in a room and brainstorm, and they leverage off each other. But I asked her why brunch, and this goes into what you said. She goes, I'm a working single mom. In the morning, I need to get my kids to school. In the evening, I need to be there for homework and all that fun stuff. During the day, I can do brunch.
Yeah.
So all these business women
Yeah.
are all they.
Well,
it's-
this is what
So
we're
it's-
hearing.
it's
about
all-
it.
that's why you're here at 11. That's my point.
Is it only on Sundays? Or?
No.
No.
I didn't say
Brunch is
Sunday
Sundays,
brunch.
yeah.
I didn't say
I
Sunday
said
brunch.
no.
She can have
It's
brunch.
Boss babes who
It's not Sunday brunch. It's brunch. That's a
You
different
see,
group.
even
That's
as
a
a
different
single
group.
mom, look at her. What she has to work, and we're not working just 9 to 5
No.
with the company. We're working 24
Non-stop.
hours, 7 days a week, also with our family and our kids
100%.
24, 7 hours.
Which
a
is
week.
awesome. Very rewarding.
Yeah.
Both.
Yes.
Hard,
Exhausting.
but exhausting.
Yeah.
Rewarding.
We
but
like the
exhausting.
word rewarding.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right.
Work hard, play hard.
So let me
Yeah.
ask you a question: Is as entrepreneurs, is there a book that you would recommend that has motivated you? You know, that is there something? Is it a Tony Robbins? Maybe you're just taking it in through your networking and in the world.
I mean, it's a little bit of everything. I mean, networking is very important. BNI is being a big part of our lives.
Yeah.
And like, one of the guys, Espositos, always says, tell me who you're networking and I'll tell you how much we net worth.
Right,
It's a
right.
big part of everything.
He's mentioning Rob Esposito, who has been on our show. He did the book. He wrote
Nobody
a book,
Moves.
Nobody
Yeah,
Moves.
Nobody Moves.
Until you
Right,
read this.
Right. Think and Grow Rich is a great book. That's a great book that you could read that actually gets you to perspective of life and work.
Love it.
That's
I'm more of in the manifesting stage of my life, so I'm
What are you
kind
mad? I'm afraid to ask what you're
He's sweating
worried
right
about you. I'm
now.
worried about you.
He's sweating.
I'm gonna keep that to myself.
Why is
and
Jeff's
that
mouth
would
slowly
be-
disappearing?
That would be a different topic or a different time for a podcast, but I'm more like I'm self-help books.
Love it.
I need to realize how much I need to take care of myself.
Don't forget about you.
Yes, deal with like past traumas or anything, so I can actually. There's
Jeff, get
too
up,
much
lay
going
down.
on. There's too much going on where I'm like trying. So I'm like hoping that trying to do all of this manifesting. Women networking groups. I went to Tulum for a manifesting
Love
kind
it.
of woman
Nice.
retreat.
Yeah.
No drinking. It was all about yoga, meditation, workshops. and it was great.
It's wonderful.
I was like, they were like, no drinking, and I was like, oh my God, this was great. I didn't
Clears
need
your
it.
head. You can't believe it.
I didn't need it. I didn't want it.
You ever done sound meditation?
Well, that's like with the bells.
The jars, they go around.
Gotcha.
Wow, it is incredible.
That's like
So
the
that's
cave,
the soul cave.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is something that I am manifesting a big time.
I love
Nice.
it. I love it. And
And
it's so
hopefully
important
I'll
what
be
you're
able
saying.
to get there.
As entrepreneurs, manifesting is very important. Not only as a person manifesting, but as an entrepreneur, if you can manifest it, you can make it happen.
Yes,
You see it in front of you, you can reach it, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can go
like I
for
keep
it.
trying to picture certain things in my head, and I'm like I have to give my friend, my best friend since I was a child, credit for this because she was going through a journey, and she kind of saw that I was in a slump. I was like kind of like stuck.
Yeah.
And she was like feeling the same way, and as she's opening up, I started opening up, and then I was like, so it's not just me.
No.
And so then we actually ended up, she kind of like dragged my
Tush.
tush. I was
Radio.
good.
This is
You see
radio.
that?
This is
Yeah.
radio.
I know. You saw I was good. I was good. I stopped, right?
I got you. That's why we got to introduce him to Jess.
Yes.
I'm going to introduce you.
Yeah.
You're going to love it. Because
Yeah,
that's
we like
exactly
that.
what it is.
Yeah.
Well, and I think all women should have some kind of soul sister kind of support. It's like if you surround yourself with powerful people and powerful minds and, outgoing and like that positive energy, it really helps. If
We
you're
were saying
surrounded
that
by the
yesterday.
opposite, it's going to drag you down, toxic.
Absolutely.
And
It's
you're
what you
gonna-
put out is what comes back.
Absolutely.
Greg and I
Tell
were
me
on-
who you are, who you're with, and I'll tell you who you are.
We were on a photo shoot yesterday, believe it or not. We're like movie stars.
Yeah.
Not- in our head. But one of the conversations...
manifesting.
Yeah, we're manifesting it. I'm manifesting I have a beautiful head of hair, but I'm manifesting.
That's not
No,
happening.
that's not happening. But we talked about that. We talked about women entrepreneurs, women business people,
Very
and the
strong
bond,
community.
and they're there to
Very.
help each
So
other.
it's-
So supportive of one
100%.
another. And men are the opposite. It's like...
Absolutely. And it's
Yeah.
funny you said that because one of the things that we targeted, it was helping women get through the process of buying cars.
Because I'm sorry, the marketing towards women is lacking.
You're right.
And I'm sorry, I don't think anybody realizes that 90% of the decision is going to be made by the woman.
Well, the final answer. The final
answer.
And
The
then
final
once-
answer is the woman.
I always come
the
to
wife.
it. So what do you think?
Right.
Yeah, and then-
Yes.
Jeff, I tell my husband when we were talking, it doesn't matter what you think.
Right.
I'll be ready to get the check
Listen,
from you.
I'll
What
go
do you
through
think?
the process. I'll go through the whole process, and at the end, I'm asking my wife. I'm asking, "What do you think? What is it? A
course.
yes or no? If it's no, then I convince myself to
Do
say
you
no."
dress yourself anymore?
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to. That's fine. Yeah, I'll get you that. I'm talking about that later. But you're 100% right. And we talked about on an earlier show, when you're creating your business model, one of the most important things is what problem am I solving? And it sounds like you found convenience, time. We're running out of time, and there's so much more to talk about. I got two very important questions.
Sure.
How does somebody get a hold of Crossroads Auto Leasing?
Give us a call or
What's the number?
But
516-399-1200.
One more time. I didn't hear it.
516-399-1200.
Website?
Crossroads Auto Leasing.
Say it
Crossroads
slow.
Auto Leasing.
Say it slow, like you're talking to Craig.
CrossroadsAutoLeasing.com.
All right.
Thank you.
And it's 516-399-1200.
Love it. Love
Perfect.
it.
So on our website, there's a form called Auto Builder. If you just go into that form, it kind of and just fill it out and kind of gives us a little bit of what you're looking for and what your target is. We give you a call within 24
Awesome.
hours.
And if I have a car that I leased or I want to give back, and
We
you come to my
return-
house, you'll pick it up?
We'll pick up the car, we'll return it, we'll ground it. If we have to be grounded, meaning that we'll return it back to the bank that needs to be returned to. If we are buying, we let you know if we're buying out the car, if it's worth buying, if there's any equity in the car.
Love
We
it.
gave you guys back the equity.
Towards your new lease. So it
that's-
helps
that's
your monthly
terrific.
payment.
So we actually try to help out in every way we can, especially through COVID. That was some really hard times, but the equity of the used car market was high, so we
Yeah.
were able to
That's
flip
great.
flop a lot.
And that's what you do for people because
Right.
you're looking to build long-lasting,
Absolutely.
mutually beneficial relationships.
We want the repeat
And
customers.
Right.
it could be legacy,
Right.
right? Like in my
Absolutely.
house, it's legacy. I have
Right.
3 daughters, as I love to tell you every show.
Every show.
you
daughters.
have 3 daughters. God bless you.
Thank you. I need it.
I got
That's
you.
why he has
You
no
got
hair
I
left.
pray
Two
for you.
is
Two daughters
child's play.
and a boy.
Child's play. That's nothing. Hey, listen. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank
Once
you.
again, what's the website?
It's CrossroadsAutoLeasing.com.
Excellent.
And it's 516-399-1200.
Craig, you heard that?
Yeah, I did.
All right, Craig, get us out of here. Get us out of here.
So from B to B with Brandy and Craig, that's a wrap.
Thank you for tuning in to B2B with Randy and Craig. Looking forward to hanging with you next week.